YouTubers, viewers, followers, and subscribers. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you are. I was on the Dr. Phil show, and I kind of wanted to jump on here and explain my side of the story, how it all happened, and what I was hoping to come out of the situation, to come out of the experience itself. So, let's just dive right in then. If you are new to this channel, then this will be new information to you. I was approached by a Dr. Phil producer in March of this year. She contacted me through my Facebook page that I used to share my experience of a false cryptic pregnancy. I share my experience of a phantom pregnancy and have resources available, as well as I educate about every and all kinds of pregnancy experience in general on that page. So she reached out to me wanting to know if I wanted to share my false cryptic pregnancy story or my phantom pregnancy story. And I, of course, was very open to this idea. Obviously, I am here doing this, talking to you guys, sharing my story, answering questions, trying to be a resource to women who think that they are cryptically pregnant, think that they are phantomly pregnant, or every and all kinds of pregnancy experience. I want to be there for you. I want to help support you. I want to give you education and resources, alternatives, ideas, options, all of it. So when I was approached by this producer, like I said, I was pretty open to the idea of sharing my story, because on such a big platform, it was intimidating, I'm not going to lie, but I did know that it was something that, now that the opportunity was presented to me, it was something that I had to do. I made it a priority. And I stayed in contact with this Dr. Phil producer from March all the way until now. And we have been talking back and forth. I have, given her a lot of information that I gathered on cryptic pregnancy, on 2 to 7 year cryptic pregnancy, on phantom pregnancy, on the 2 to 7 year cryptic pregnancy community in general. I just tried to fill her in. We were trying to find women who think they are currently cryptically pregnant to appear on the show so that they can get the help that they deserve. And I felt that because I had done so much research into this subject that I absolutely had to be a part of it. Hold on. So my overall goal was to just help the producer get as many cryptically pregnant women to hopefully be on the show as possible. My appearance on the show was always tentative. It was never set in stone. It was only briefly talked about a couple of times, and it was always a potential guest. She always made sure to put potential guests in front of it. So for me, I was trying to help get the women who I knew were currently cryptically pregnant in touch with her so that they could get some really good help, so that they can hopefully get my ultimate goal would be to hopefully get a 2 to 7 year cryptically pregnant or cryptic pregnancy study or medical study started by actual doctors and professionals who are interested in this subject. That was ultimately what I wanted to happen. And so, that would be just fantastic, right? Actual doctors looking at this in a real way, in a very real way. It would be very, very good for the community. It would be very good. So, hold on. So on September 25th, hold on, I'm not in focus. Now I am. So yeah, on September 25th, when I was asked by the producer if I wanted to be on the show, I said yes. And then I said, when would I need to clear my schedule? When is this happening? She said this weekend. And I said, this weekend? wait, we're Tuesday, because this was on Tuesday, September 25th. And I said, this weekend, like, this is a couple of days from now. This is like, what? So I was, let's just say I was very shocked. I was in shock for a little while. For the rest of that day, I was like, okay, is this really happening? Can I really fly out to Los Angeles, California by this weekend? I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm literally 2 hours from my local airport, the nearest airport, 2 hours away. And so I was stressed out is putting it very, very lightly. Like my whole body started to vibrate because like I couldn't stop shaking. Like it kind of hurt a little bit. Like the amount my body started to shake because I started to get very, very nervous about. It wasn't even about going on the show and sharing my story, because I've done that so many times here on YouTube. It was about the traveling alone, away from my family, in a place that brought back so many emotions and so many memories. And to do it by myself and be away from my boys for the longest alone. That's the longest I've ever been away from either of my boys. 4 days straight. 3 nights. It was intense for them as well as for me emotionally to be away. Still out of focus? Back in focus. Okay. So I found out that I was going to be a real guest on the Dr. Phil show on September 25th. And I flew out to Los Angeles at 6 in the morning on Saturday, September 29th. So 3 days I had to prepare myself, not only mentally, physically, emotionally, but also financially and materialistically. It was very, very intense. And there was a few times I almost called the producer and said, you know what, I can't do this. This is too short notice. You know, I have a family. I'm a mom. I have responsibilities. I did not expect for this to happen so quickly. I've been in contact with the producer for over 6 months, and then all of a sudden it's like this weekend, and I'm like, what? It's a very crazy process, but Hollywood moves very quickly, apparently. So once this is what, from my understanding of what I was told, once the producer who approached me, once she gave it to like the top, like somebody else above her. And then once it was approved there, you know, it goes up. And then once it gets to Dr. Phil, apparently, because Dr. Phil has to approve every single episode, because he's not going to talk about something that he's not interested in talking about. So he's the one that ultimately says yes or no to a show. And he said yes. And that's why they were like on it. It was like, okay, this is happening right now. We have to get it all set up. So, saying that I was stressed was putting it very, very lightly. I was under so much stress from the time that I found out to the time that I flew out. It was crazy. Then when I flew out and was actually in Los Angeles by myself, the stress elevated 1,000%. It was pretty intense because I live in a small town. I'm not used to the city anymore. I'm used to living in my small town. I'm not used to traffic. I'm not used to pollution. There's just so many things I'm not used to anymore in the city, let alone, being there by myself. So thank the Lord that my sister Grace was able to travel from Arizona. She made the 6-hour drive there to meet me at my hotel. Thank God, because saying that I was nervous, it doesn't describe the way I felt. When I checked into the hotel room, it was a very, very nice hotel. Very, very nice. It was on the actual Star Strip in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. So it was one of the most expensive areas that they planted me right in. And as a stay-at-home mother of 2 boys, I do not have that much spending money at all. So when I went to check into the hotel room, they asked me for a credit card, and I gave them my credit card, and then they took 150 of my dollars and set it aside, which is what all hotels do, right? This is standard procedure. Well, I only had that amount of money in my account. I didn't have any more than that. So the hotel basically took all my money and left me with nothing for the entire 4 days I was there. The entire 4 days. It didn't get back into my account like a couple hours before I got on my flight to leave. So let's just say that, yeah, I was stressed when I left, but when I got there and checked into the hotel, my stress level went to an amount that I've never experienced in my life. It was intense, because I was alone. I literally, all I had was Grace. That's all I had. And in that huge city, it was not fun. You know, all my family is like states away. So for me to get money it doesn't happen like this. So yeah, anyways. Hold up, let me try to figure out what my next point is. So besides the financial stress, I did get to visit my sister, who I hadn't seen in like a year and 9 months. So that was very exciting. I was very, very excited to catch up and just hang out and like chill at the hotel room and, you know, just talk, which is what we did. And that is free. So yeah. So yeah, that's, you know, I mean, it was fantastic. Maybe it would have been different if I never lived in Los Angeles, or if I've never been to Los Angeles. Then I think it would have been a way different experience. If it was my first time there, first time experiencing the strip and blah blah blah. But I've done that several times. I mean, I've done it a lot. Especially because I lived there. So, I just wasn't as glamorized as I think that they wanted me to be, or the producers wanted me to be, because they left me with no money. It's incredible that they have people come to their show as guests and then expect them to pay to be there. It was a learning experience, definitely. This experience was definitely a learning experience, an experience that I will never forget. But a good experience, even though it had some bad mixed in there. And that's because when I came out of it, you know, at the end of the day, I had my sister. I had food in my belly. My kids were safe. My husband was safe. And that's really all I could ask for. You know, I mean, it was intense. I'm not going to lie. You know, not having any spending money isn't easy when you are on this strip in Los Angeles on, you know, Hollywood Boulevard, where they charge for bags. And they charge, I mean, there's no public restrooms. A bottle of water is $2. A 16-pack of water is $15. Like, I was grateful to have experienced such a fancy hotel, but honestly, like, I mean, so they provide you $75 a night for a meal. And that is fantastic, right? I mean, that sounds great. $75 a night? That's a lot of money. However, they forget to explain to you that the hotel will put an 18% gratuity fee on there. The hotel will add $4, and then there'll just be a miscellaneous $4 charge. It'll just say other $4. So for them to bring up your food, you're spending at least $15 to $20 just for them to bring up your meal. So technically, you only have around $50 to spend on food itself. That was a learning experience because I was like, what? I did not realize that it took $15 to take my meal up elevator and push it down a hallway. That was a learning experience, like I said. So, you know, they say that you have $75 a night when you don't. You only have $50 for actual food a night, which technically is one meal, because the Hollywood Roosevelt is where I stayed. The Hollywood Roosevelt charges $20 for crispy chicken tenders. $20 for chicken tenders. That doesn't even include fries. Fries are $9. So to have chicken tenders and fries is $29. One soda was $5. So basically they provided you, the Dr. Phil show will provide you with flight, hotel, and $75 a night, which actually equals out to one meal a day. One meal a day is what they provided me. And I'm super grateful, like I said. I'm not like trying to make this sound like I'm complaining, but like I said, it was a learning experience. I was not expecting this. I was expecting to get $75 worth of food. That's what I was expecting. And of course, it was my bad for, you know, not realizing where they were going to plug me into one of the most expensive places in the world. And I don't have all of this money to just be like, yeah, I'm on the Dr. Phil show, woohoo. No, that's not my life. My life is not that. My life is a lot simpler than that. And so, like I said, it was a learning experience. I'm very, very grateful for the experience, but it was a learning experience. There was negative, and there were positive things that happened. At the end of the day, the positive did outweigh the negative, and that's why I am glad that I did this. I'm glad that I went out there. I'm glad that I stressed my body out so much that I got sick, because I did. I got sick like 3 or 4 days after I got back. So yeah, and you can kind of still hear it. Yeah, feeling sick is seriously the worst. Yeah, it was intense. It was intense on every aspect of my life, every aspect of my children's life and my husband. It was hard on my body. It was hard on my mental and emotional well-being, but it was worth it. It was worth making the effort and making it a priority to be there, because I could have very easily just said, you know what, I don't want to do this. This isn't for me. But that would have been too easy, right? I mean, and it would have, I didn't want to decide not to do this because of fear. And I didn't want to not decide to do this and then regret it for the rest of my life. And so that's why I buckled down. We figured it out. I flew out there, and yes. So watch some clips here of my experience. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're well. I hope you're healthy. Be well, friends. Stay blessed. Bye.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't normally do it. It's the counterpart.
Yeah. Look at it's a big dragon.